beat a team that's very difficult to scout as well as defend. Their style of play, as I talked to their coach, I really did like this style of play when we were scouting them, and because it's such a unique system. 5 guys that can shoot the basketball, but all 5 guys can get to the basket and make plays as well. And I think that showed tonight. And then they played, like their coach did. They never quit. They play every possession, and I thought they did a really good job. Now I thought our guys, when we built the lead, we have to learn how to sustain it and build on it. I thought, we made some mistakes during that time, and they were able to cut our lead. But when they cut the 3, I thought our guys have done what they've done all season long, and that's they've responded. They made the plays they needed to make to build the lead back up again, and they played with a lot of poise down the stretch, and gave us a chance to win the game.
Coach, I know you said you liked how Tennessee Tech played, just kind of the matchup that it presented. What do you hope your team learned from a game like this, especially with how things got tight there in the second half?
Well, this is college basketball. Games are going to be very competitive. They're going to be hotly contested, and that's what you've seen happen again. And the thing I keep learning from our guys is basically, having poise down the stretch of close ball games. I think we've shown an ability down the stretch to make the right play, to get the stops that we need to be successful. And we have to continue to grow in that area. We can improve in a lot of things, and we can improve in that as well. But I do like our guys' poise. Right now, coming down the stretch of games, they've shown the ability to, gather themselves, focus in, and make the plays they need to make.
Coach, you kind of talked about Tennessee Tech kind of cutting into that lead, going into the end of the second. They kind of went on a 15-3 run. Defensively, what do you want to see tweaked going into the tournament next week?
Well, we have to be better defensively from the standpoint of guarding teams that have a number of threats on the perimeter. And this team was like that, but a lot of teams are like that in today's college game. So we have to be able to defend the three-point line better than we defended it tonight. We have to identify the shooters, that's knowing personnel better to make sure the guys that are the prolific three-point shooters aren't getting a lot of shots. And tonight we didn't do that. We gave three-point shots to guys that were in the scouting report, as guys that we knew were going to look for those shots and hunt them the most. And we have to do a better job of IDing those players and taking them off of that line.
After starting the season 1 of 11, Debo was incredibly efficient tonight. What have you seen from his growth early on?
Well, I thought Debo was terrific. I thought he gave us a huge lift, especially in the first half. But the entire game with his leadership. He's a senior. He's a veteran. He's already accomplished in college. He's been, good, all of his years for the most part. And so I thought he provided that for us. He provides maturity. He has a great body. He can play multiple positions for us. And I knew the shots would eventually start to fall for him because throughout his career, he shot the ball, well from behind the arc. But, he got off to a slow start this year, and so I was waiting for the percentage to start to change, and I was happy to see him knock him down tonight.
Darius Johnson hit the 1,000-point mark in his career tonight. What does he mean to this program?
He means a great deal to our program from the standpoint. He's been a part of some really good moments, and he's leading us again this year. I think, for Darius, I look at a young man that's a 4-year player in one program. It's probably pretty rare nowadays, and that's just the nature of our sport now. So to have a guy that's been with you for 4 years, that does a lot for us because he understands exactly what I want. He's been in so many key moments for us. So having that type of experience, that type of extension of your coach is very, very important, especially when you have 11 new players on your roster. So him understanding that and relaying that message to the players, what I want, has been huge for us. And he scored, of course, 1,000 points. And for me, when you score 1,000 points, like I said earlier, it's not about you; it's about your teammates and everybody around you. You don't achieve that type of milestone without the personnel. This isn't tennis; it's not golf. So it's not an individual sport. So I think he'll reflect on all the guys that he's played with over the years. I know I did when I was reaching my marks. And I'm sure he'll do the same, and just the fond memories and moments that he'll think about from what his teammates were able to provide for him as well.
Keyshawn has talked about adapting to a new environment. He leads the team in points, rebounds, and assists tonight. Where's his ceiling?
Keyshawn's still developing in our system. I don't think Keyshawn is where he's going to be as the season progresses. I can still see where he can grow his game. in our system. And he's just learning. He's 4 games into what we do. He's had a different system. He's had multiple different coaches, and I'm at least his 3rd new coach in college. So I mean, those are the challenges that we face now, and trying to speed up that learning curve, with these players in your system. I think as he continues to get more comfortable in our system, I think he's going to even do better for us. It's just a function of getting more games under his belt, continuing to understand exactly what we want by watching tape and what we do in practice.
You mentioned earlier how the team was able to build the lead back up after it got back down to 3. What does it say about this team's maturity to kind of hold the line there? You obviously don't want to be in that situation. You want to extend that lead, but what does it say about this team's maturity to answer that run back and then finish the game?
Well, they definitely showed a great deal of maturity and, like I said, poise, because you have to be poised and calm in those situations. A lot of times when you have a younger team, they kind of can lose themselves, and it can go the other way. These guys have a calmness about them, they have the poise, and that's why they were able to kind of turn it around during that time. Now, for us, we don't want to keep being in those situations. We have to find a way to build and sustain these leads. That's something that we have to do, and what we're watching film on and teaching our guys, like how do you build on a lead? How do you sustain a lead? And that's where our growth is going to be. So as mature as they've been, closing games, coming down the stretch, making the right play, we have to be better throughout the game of when we're getting leads to kind of continue to build on them. And that's another facet that we have to learn with this group.
Coach, first of all, congratulations on the win, but it's a small sample size, but in the Big 12, 3 of the guys, there are 3 guys on your team that are in the top 10 in scoring, which says a lot about your offense. What have you kind of put into practice to cater to the amazing transition offense and half-court offense that you guys have carried out this season?
Well, we wanted to take a hard look at everything that we did in the off season, and that's one of the things we wanted to try to build on. We wanted to, play with a better pace. We wanted to, install a new system for the team that we were building this year with the players we had coming in. And I think we're able to do that. I think we've been able to build a system that complements these guys. I think a pace that's better suited to the depth that we have on this team. And I think our guys are just, again, they're getting more and more comfortable with what we want in our system. And then I think Coach Adam Hood, who we brought in as a coach, assistant coach for us, he does a very good job of that from the standpoint of what we wanted. So we knew defensively we defended. That's kind of our, trademark here. We've defended, every year. But we wanted to combine that with a more high octane offense to try to, change, our look and how we play. And we're getting there. I'm not saying we're completely there yet, but I can see where we are making strides in that direction.
Johnny, you guys obviously beefed up your non-conference schedule to prepare for year 2 in the Big 12. What do you hope to gain out of this weekend's tournament, with playing against Wisconsin, possibly LSU and Pitt? What do you hope to get from these games that maybe will help you guys as you move towards the conference tournament?
Well, again, to prepare ourselves for our conference, we need to have games that's going to reflect the type of opponents we're going to face on a nightly basis. And I thought playing in the Greenbrier event would be great because, all those teams are accomplished. All of them are very good. And like I said, they have terrific coaches. So we're going to be in a position where we're going to, face some tough challenges. Of course, I'm only looking at one team, and that's Wisconsin. That's all we're concerned about. And we'll start preparing for them this evening. But, gives us an opportunity to kind of see, where we are and what we have to do going forward. And so, to me, I look at all these as opportunities. And so this is another great opportunity for us to continue to grow as a team.
In football, there's always been offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. I know Adam Hood, who you just referenced, he was offensive coordinator, maybe was his title at his previous stop. Just what kind of fingerprints has he put on this? I know you just kind of alluded to it a moment ago, but what specifically has Adam Hood brought to your offense to kind of help change things up this year?
Well, one thing is our pace. We're playing, a higher possession game. We were longer defensive possessions where we played and maybe a few longer offensive possessions. So our possessions are a little shorter. Our pace in transition, we've picked that up, so we're faster in transition. And we have more movement, more ball movement and body movement. So those would be the things that probably have been more adjustments from what we did, is the ball movement and body movement, as well as our pace have been the areas. I think we did some good things spacing, and we did some other things, good things identifying players and attacking them. But we've combined that now with what we're doing, and I think it's been good for this group.
Touching back on Darius's 1,000-point milestone, I talked to Coach Jim Fitzgerald from Episcopal about Darius's time in high school. and he noted his work ethic was one of the big things about him. When Darius came to UCF, did you kind of expect him to hit this 1,000-point mark and become the 21st Knight to do it?
I definitely expected him to be able to do this. So to me, it's not really a surprise that he was able to hit the 1,000-point mark, because I'd watched him play since elementary school. So he's always been able to put the ball in the basket. And so the thing that I want him to learn is put it in the basket and also run and lead your team. And so that's the thing that I've been enjoying, watching him grow into his role as a lead guard, being calm, showing poise, making timely plays. And I think that's what you've seen, especially over the last several years as he's starting to mature in our program. You're seeing him grow in those areas, and he's become a very good point guard. I mean, I wouldn't trade him for any point guard anywhere. I mean, I think he does a great job for what we do in our system and who we have. And I'm glad he's on our team.
You guys have started 4-0 with the home crowd behind you, but now you go to neutral territory to face a top 25 opponent. What kind of test will this be for the team?
Oh, this will be a great test for us. Like you said, going to a neutral site, playing Wisconsin, an opponent that's very, very talented out of the Big Ten. So looking forward to it, But this is opportunities for our guys to grow, to get better. You're only gonna get better through these experiences, and we're gonna learn more about our team, like we learned about our team tonight. We're always learning. And so we're going to learn about us in that type of environment, in that type of neutral setting now, and see where we are. But the main thing is that we take out of it is we have to bring who we are to that arena. We have to bring our competitiveness, we have to bring our passion and our desire to be successful. And that's what we're going to try to bring up there is that mindset.
Time for a few more.
You said you've been watching Darius since he was in elementary school. I'm trying to do the math. I'm not sure if you were still at Duke at that point or maybe at Stanford, but do you kind of remember when you saw maybe he was in middle school or early high school where you knew, like, this is a guy, wherever I'm coaching, he's going to have it? I know there's the family connection as well, but when did you remember watching Darius and really saying this guy's going to be a college star?
Probably in middle school. It's when I saw him play, and I saw, because he's playing against, an AAU competition against all guys in his age group. And I thought he's one of the better guards, when I watched him play. And so that continued through high school. He was still one of the better guards. So it wasn't hard to see, what, if I have an opportunity, I would love to be able to coach him. And, fortunately it worked out.
Coach, you guys were plus 22 in second chance points today. Was that something that you put an emphasis on coming into today's game?
No, we did. We thought one of our advantages was our size and our length. And we had to take advantage of that because, they were playing, we always say styles makes fights. And so their style is playing small ball and spacing the floor, penetrating and pitching and kicking out the shooters. So our style is we play bigger, we play longer. And so we have to be able to have our style, take advantage of our strengths. And they were trying to take advantage of their strengths. And one of our strengths was, on the offensive boards. We had to have that type of a number on the offensive board to offset some of the things that they could do offensively on their end. So, and we emphasize it, and I'm glad to see our guys, respond.
Coach, today you went up against, you just mentioned it, but a much smaller team than you guys. Is that something you kind of look forward to, or something that stands out to you before you send out your roster?
No, absolutely. You want to face all different types of opponents because in conference play, you're going to face different styles again, and you have to have seen those different styles in order to be successful. Some teams are going to play small ball, some teams are going to play big, and you have to be able to find a way in each one of those situations to be successful. And this gives us a snippet of what we have to do, so we'll be able to watch film, we'll be able to talk to our players and practice things that'll help us playing an opponent like this based on what we just saw. Because we're going to see it again by some team. I can't say which. I haven't watched any of the teams play yet. I'm sure somebody's playing smaller, and when that happens, we have to be prepared.
Notice Mikey Williams out of the boot. When do you expect to work him in to gain action?
He's still day-to-day. He's out of the boot, but he's not practiced or anything, so he's still day-to-day getting himself back. But it's good to see. That's encouraging to see. He's responding, he's improving, and so we'll just continue to work with him until he feels comfortable enough to be able to get back out there. But I'm happy to see he is trending in the right direction.
What about Jalen? Update on Jalen?
Same thing with Jalen. Jalen is still day-to-day as well. He's I think he's improving, but it's still day-to-day, and we'll see. As time will tell with him in his situation, but he's in a good place. He understands where he is, and we just have to continue to give him time and let him continue to try to heal.
All set?
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Coach.
Coach.